Every day you're using things you think are safe. Shampoos, candles, even your stove. But what if I told you some of these trusted products are slowly poisoning your body right under your nose?
As U.S. health officials announced plans to phase out 8 artificial dyes from our food supply.
Fox 8's Richard Jacobus explains which products are being targeted and how they're being replaced.
And just wait until you hear what's inside your antibacterial soap.
The Food and Drug Administration has issued new rules on over-the-counter antibacterial soaps and hand sanitizers.
That sweet-smelling bottle promising silky hair, radiant skin, and above-average sex appeal, which doesn't actually happen, well, it might be doing more harm than good. Behind the marketing and pastel-colored labels, many shampoos and lotions are loaded with formaldehyde-releasing preservatives. We're talking about dimethylenedione. Yeah, a known carcinogen. I also didn't know what that was at first, but apparently that's what it is. In one major study focused on Black and Latino women, over half of the participants were found to be using at least one product with these toxic additives. And it doesn't stop there. Parabens, linked to breast cancer. Phtalates, which I know I'm mispronouncing. Well, they're known endocrine disruptors. Sulfates, they strip your skin and scalp like a chemical peel in disguise. I already don't need that. The scary truth is these products are often targeted toward women of color, not by accident, but by marketing. Add in poor labeling laws and it becomes a game of chemical roulette. You're not just moisturizing, you could be marinating in carcinogens, and no one's putting a warning label on that. Now let's step into your kitchen. You probably need to go to the grocery store at this point. Those microwavable safe containers stacked in your cabinet that have a whole bunch of different kind of food standing on them, well, they might be melting something more than your cheese, which is overdone by the way. When heated, plastic food containers can leach microplastics and chemicals like bisphenol A or BPA right into your lunch. And if that doesn't make you flinch, maybe this will. Those microplastics are now being found in human bloodstreams and organs. Yeah, BPA and phthalates don't just hang out in your leftovers. They're endocrine disruptors, meaning they mess with your hormones. Think fertility problems, metabolic disorders, even developmental issues in children. And get this, just one scratch on a plastic lid can increase the amount of chemicals released into your food. Experts now recommend switching to glass or stainless steel, because every time you reheat that spaghetti in a plastic bowl, you're not just warming up dinner, you're slowly seasoning it with synthetic toxins, and even then it's only about halfway warm. Yeah, everyone loves a pan that eggs don't stick to, but here's what you didn't sign up for: flu-like symptoms, toxic gas exposure, and long-term health risks hiding in a non-stick coating. That slick surface? It's made using chemicals like polytetrafluoroethylene. Ooh, got that on the first try. And historically, perfluorotonic acid. Okay, I almost got that. What does that mean though? Well, heat that pan too much, over 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it starts breaking down, releasing fumes that can actually make you sick. It's called polymer fume fever, and yes, it is a real thing. PFOA was banned years ago for being a possible carcinogen, but it's been replaced by Gen X, a chemical with similar concerns. And if you've ever seen the documentary The Devil We Know, you know how bad this gets. Now let's talk about cleaning, because here's something deadly you might have done without even realizing it. Mixing bleach with ammonia sounds like the ultimate germ killer, right? Wrong. It's a chemical time bomb. When combined, these two household cleaners produce toxic chloramine gas, and in high enough concentrations it creates hydrazine, an incredibly toxic and potentially explosive substance. And even a small amount of exposure in a poorly ventilated room can lead to respiratory failure, chemical burns, or even worse. Mind you, this isn't just a science class warning or again a King of the Hill joke. Real lives have been lost, like the Buffalo Wildlings incident where an employee died after inhaling fumes from a floor cleaner that accidentally mixed with bleach. It's not a freak accident. It's the exact kind of thing anybody could do during spring cleaning by complete accident. Moral of the story? Never play chemist with your cleaning supplies. If you think the danger's only in what you clean with or cook on, think again. Some of it is sitting right there on your child's breakfast plate. Synthetic food dyes like Red 40, Yellow 5, and Blue 1 are everywhere. Cereals, candy, sodas, even healthy drinks. These dyes are derived from petroleum and were once considered harmless. Now though, not so much. Studies are stacking up linking these dyes to hyperactivity and attention issues in children. Some even hinted a connection to long-term behavioral disorders. Red 3 has been flagged as a possible carcinogen, banned in cosmetics, but still used in foods. Make that make sense. Here's the kicker though. Many of these dyes are banned or heavily restricted in other countries, but in the US they're still on store shelves, still in school lunches, still being consumed by millions daily. Some companies are switching to natural colorants like beet juice or turmeric, but until regulations catch up, it's up to you to read those labels, because those bright colors, well, they might just be masking something far darker. They're in your bathroom, your kitchen, maybe even your gym bag, depending on how stinky you get. Air fresheners, deodorants, surface cleaners, all in those handy little cans you can spray with one finger. Here's the problem though, every time you push down on that nozzle you could be filling your lungs with volatile organic compounds. We're talking formaldehyde, benzene, and toluene, chemicals that don't just irritate your nose but hit your respiratory system like a truck. The mist from aerosol sprays can reach deep into the lungs, sticking around longer than you'd expect. And it's not just about casual use. One tragic case in the UK involved a 13-year-old boy named Licky Lothar, who died from chroming. Chroming is a viral trend where kids inhale aerosol fumes to get high. He was surrounded by 12 empty cans, and he never woke up. Even when use is intended, repeated exposure to aerosol has been linked to asthma, hormone disruption, and even neurological symptoms. So yeah, skip the spray, crack a window instead. That signature scent you love, it might come with a side of chemical chaos. From designer perfumes to room sprays, anything with the word fragrance on the label is a red flag hiding in plain sight. Here's why. That one word fragrance can legally hide hundreds of undisclosed chemicals. Phthalates are often among them. And they aren't just smell boosters, they're hormone wreckers. They've been linked to reproductive issues, fertility problems, and even early puberty in children. A global study found that a common phthalate, di-2-ethylhexylphthalate DEHP, was associated with over 350,000 deaths in a single year due to its impact on heart disease. That's not a small number. Let's talk reactions, though. Dr. Ann Steinemann's research revealed that more than a third of the US adults experience headaches, dizziness, or breathing problems from fragrance products. Most of the time, we don't even realize what triggered it. That little spray you use to freshen up the room, it could be silently chipping away at your health. Go unscented, go natural, or go without. Your lungs are gonna thank you. That cozy couch in your living room cost you a pretty penny? Might be doing more than just supporting your Netflix sessions. Since the 1970s, flame retardants have been added to furniture to meet fire safety regulations. But the trade-off? These chemicals don't stay in the cushions, they end up in your body. Flame retardants like PBDEs and chlorinated tris are known to disrupt hormone function, impact brain development, and in some cases trigger cancer. The chemicals break down and latch onto dust particles, making their way into the air that you breathe and the surfaces your children play on. Kids are especially at risk. Thankfully, laws are shifting, slowly but surely. California led the charge with new flammability standards that reduce the need for these chemicals. But if your couch is from before 2014, it might still be silently off-gassing. Think about the irony, choosing tea over soda for your health, then unknowingly sipping plastic-infused water with every cup. Plastic tea bags, often labeled as silken or mesh, might look elegant, but they come with a hidden cost. When exposed to hot water, they can release billions of micro and nanoplastics into your drink. One study revealed that steeping a single plastic tea bag at typical brewing temperatures released around 11.6 billion microplastic particles. That's only in one cup. No one knows exactly what consuming that daily does to your body, but researchers have linked microplastic ingestion to cellular damage, hormonal interference, and inflammation. It's not paranoia, it's science. And really the solution is simple. Ditch the plastic. Use loose leaf tea with a stainless steel infuser. Choose brands that use paper, not polymer, because no one ordered plastic with their peppermint. They're cheap, water resistant, and easy to replace. But those vinyl shower curtains could be slowly poisoning your bathroom and your lungs. Made from PVC, these curtains release a cocktail of toxic chemicals, especially in the warm, humid air of your bathroom. A single curtain can emit over 100 volatile organic compounds. We're talking toluene, ethylbenzene, and you guess it, phthalates. These fumes don't just smell weird, they've been linked to headaches, nausea, respiratory irritation, and long-term risks like hormonal disruption. And if you've got kids in the house, their smaller lungs and developing bodies are even more vulnerable. PVC is also an environmental nightmare. It doesn't biodegrade and releases dioxins when manufactured or burned. So while it may seem like a small household item, its footprint and impact is huge. Swap it for PIVA, EVA, or even fabric alternatives, air out your bathroom after hot showers, and if your curtain smells like plastic every time you pull it back, take that as a friggin' warning. Let's start with the vanity mirror. A tube of lipstick or eyeliner might look harmless, even glamorous. But when it comes to what's inside, totally different story. Heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and mercury have been found in everything from blush to skin lightening creams. And no, we're not talking about tiny traces that disappear. These metals build up in your body over time, and that accumulation, it doesn't end well for anyone. Lead especially is a repeat offender. Long-term exposure has been linked to neurological problems, developmental delays, and even cancer. And it gets worse for pregnant women and kids. It messes with brain development in a way that can't be undone. Mercury, often hidden in certain brightening creams, attacks the kidneys and nervous system. Heck, in Texas and California, there's been real cases of mercury poisoning traced directly to cosmetic products. And then there's cadmium, a toxin that targets your bones and kidneys. Mix all that with the recent discovery of asbestos in some makeup sold to teens, and you've got a beauty routine that doubles as a health hazard. Now, take a deep breath, or maybe don't. That relaxing lavender-scented candle burning in your living room could be filling the air with more than just vibes. Burning scented candles releases volatile organic compounds like benzene, toluene, and formaldehyde. These aren't just hard-to-pronounce chemicals, they're linked to respiratory issues, headaches, and even heart disease and cancer. A 2021 study found that the pollution from some scented candles can be just as harmful to indoor air quality as secondhand smoke or diesel exhaust. Then there's the issue of phthalates, those scent-extending additives we've already seen causing hormone problems. They get released into the air and inhaled with every single breath. Let's not forget fine particle matter, or PM 2.5, tiny particles from burning wax that can get deep into your lungs and bloodstream. This is especially prevalent in small, unventilated rooms. These are the same particles linked to asthma attacks and cardiovascular issues. Clean laundry, soft sheets. That's fresh smell when you open the dryer. Might be the scent of invisible chemicals clinging to your clothes. And Charmin. Fabric softeners are loaded with quarterly ammonium compounds. Also called quats, these are linked to skin irritation, respiratory issues, and even asthma. They're designed to stay in your fabric, which means they also stay on your skin. Phthalates show up here too, once again used to lock in fragrance. They're not something you want to close to your body 24/7, but softeners make sure they're there whether you realize it or not. Let's not forget the volatile organic compounds released during the drying cycle. These VOCs get vented into your home's air and your lungs with every load of laundry. Environmentally, it's a double hit. The chemicals wash into our water systems, and the packaging adds to plastic pollution. There's really nothing fresh about that. Natural alternatives like vinegar, baking soda, or wool dryer balls get the job done without the chemical fog. Sometimes the best clean doesn't come from a bottle. Time to talk fingertips. That quick swipe of nail polish remover before your next color change might be drying out more than just your nails. Most removers use acetone, a powerful solvent that strips polish fast, but also strips your skin's protective barrier. It can cause dryness, redness, and cracking. For frequent users, especially salon workers, repeated exposure can lead to serious dermatitis and chemical sensitivity. And there's inhalation. Acetone fumes can cause headaches, dizziness, and over time affect your nervous system. Spend a long day in a poorly ventilated space with this stuff, and your brain's gonna feel it. But acetone isn't the only villain in the bottle. Some removers include formaldehyde or toluene, both tied to cancer, neurological problems, and reproductive harm. When these chemicals combine in the air, it turns your at-home manicure into a silent health risk. Acetone-free removers do exist, though. They're slower, but they are also safer, and if your nails need a break, maybe give the polish a rest too. Your body's been soaking up more than color. They smell amazing, make your clothes feel cozy, and reduce static. But dryer sheets? They're the sneakiest of them all. When your dryer heats up those thin sheets, it releases a fog of chemicals, volatile organic compounds like benzene, styrene, and acetaldehyde. They can mess with your respiratory system and nervous system without you even realizing it until it's too late. Guess what's inside those signature scents, though? Phthalates. Yes, again. Endocrine disruptors with long-term effects, especially concerning for pregnant women and kids. Breathing these in after every laundry cycle turns your home into a low-key chemistry lab. Sadly, there is more. Dryer sheets also use quats, those same fabric softener compounds linked to skin irritation and asthma. They cling to clothes, stay in contact with your skin all day, and don't wash off easily. You got better options though. Wool dryer balls, natural fabric sprays, even baking soda in your wash cycle. Skip the sheets. Freshness shouldn't come at a cost that your body didn't agree to. Changing your hair color? Well, that transformation might come with more than just a new look. Permanent hair dyes, especially darker shades, often contain paraphenylidene PPD. They're gonna go with that. It's a powerful chemical that helps color stick. It's also a major allergen. Reactions range from itchy scalps to full-blown anaphylaxis. In rare cases, it sent people to the ER with facial swelling so severe they couldn't actually see. But allergies are just the beginning. Long-term use of hair dye has been linked in some studies to increase risks of bladder cancer, non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and leukemia. Scientists haven't reached total consensus, but the pattern is hard to ignore. And really, it's not just about what touches your scalp, it's about what gets absorbed through it. In one high-profile case, a UK man suffered temporary vision loss from a dye reaction. Doctors trace it back to PPD, hidden in plain sight on the ingredients list. If you're going to color, always do a patch test. Look for plant-based or ammonia-free alternatives, because beauty should never come at the cost of your health. Antibacterial sounds like a good thing, right? Cleaner hands, fewer germs, no worries. That's the promise. But the reality? It's a lot murkier, actually. For years, soaps with triclosan and triclocarbon were marketed as a superior way to wash, but research revealed they were no better than regular soap and water. Triclosan messes with your hormones. It mimics estrogen, disrupts thyroid function, and weakens the immune system over time. On top of that, it's been tied to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria, superbugs that don't respond to meds. In 2016, the Food and Drug Administration finally banned triclosan in consumer hand soaps. But here's the catch. It's still legal in other products like toothpaste, body washes, and even cutting boards. And when these chemicals wash down the drain, they stick around. Traces have been found in lakes, rivers, and marine life. So it's not just your skin they're affecting, it's your entire ecosystem. Bottom line, stick to basic soap and water. Sometimes old school wins for a reason. They smell strong, they keep bugs away, and they've been tucked into closets for generations. But mothballs? They're also toxic little cubes you probably shouldn't be breathing in. Most mothballs are made with either naphthalene or this big word up on the screen right here. Both release vapors that are poisonous to insects, but also to people. Prolonged exposure can lead to nausea, dizziness, headaches, and even serious blood disorders like hemolytic anemia. For kids, the risk is even higher. Every year, hundreds of children mistake mothballs for candy. One bite can cause liver damage, neurological issues, or worse. In homes with poor ventilation, the fumes can accumulate, creating a silent hazard that hangs in the air and in your clothes. Naphthalene has already been labeled a possible human carcinogen. And the big word from before, not far behind. If you need to protect your clothes, try cedarwood blocks or lavender sachets instead. They smell better, and they won't poison the air you breathe. Now, let's get straight to the heart of your home, the kitchen. Gas stoves might give you that professional chef vibe, but the cost could be your lungs. Every time you fire one up, it releases nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, and benzene, and even formaldehyde. These gases can trigger asthma, especially in kids that have been tied to heart disease and cancer. A Stanford study found that NO2 levels from gas stoves often exceeded safe outdoor air limits inside your home. Worse, gas stoves leak even when they're turned off. Methane, a powerful greenhouse gas, slips into your air day and night, contributing to both indoor air pollution and climate change. And don't even think a vent fan solves it all. Most kitchen hoods don't vent to the outside. You're breathing it in whether you realize it or not. They look like regular furniture, but behind that wood finish, there's a chemical lurking that's anything but harmless. Pressed wood, like Particleboard, MDF, and plywood, is often held together with urea formaldehyde resins. And guess what? Those resins off gas formaldehyde into your home for months, sometimes years. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen. It can cause eye and throat irritation, trigger asthma attacks, and with long-term exposure increase the risk of certain cancers. You won't smell it all the time, but it's there, especially in poorly ventilated rooms. The EPA has set emission limits, but not all furniture complies, especially imported items or secondhand finds. That old bookshelf, that budget desk, they can be slowly tainting your indoor air without you even knowing. To stay safer, look for products labeled carb compliant or formaldehyde free. Solid wood is ideal, and whatever you buy, air it out well, because even your furniture can turn on you. If this opened your eyes to what's really hiding in your everyday routine, don't stop here. Hit that subscribe button for more shocking truths and deep dives into the stuff that no one else is talking about.